I think that's incredible.
Oh, good job there, Kelsey.
Yeah, well done. Excellent work.
Okay. How many are you expecting?
Well,
Jill,
I have
number
a
one.
couple maybes, so we can go ahead and get started. And then as people come in, Kelsey can just invite them in as they go. So I am so excited you guys are here. I have been wanting to do this forever. There's been so many times where all I wanted was a circle of friends to help me, new ideas, going against traditional horsemanship, whatever. I would love to have had people that I could text and go, ah, or you wouldn't believe it happened. It was amazing. So I thought, since I want that group, you guys probably want that group. So here we are.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you.
Very excited. So obviously, this is going to be a very safe space. No judgment. Everything's going to be very heart open. And, oh, doorbell. Yay. And
Oh, sorry.
what I love about this is that we're going to have all the wisdom of all these humans, and then we have all the wisdom of all the horses. So one thing that was absolutely incredible was that Willow, I got to introduce a movie a couple months ago, and Willow let me know that afterwards, everyone who was in the audience, when they went home, if they went home and talked with their horse, she was able to touch them, which tells me that when we communicated with each other, we should be able to touch our horses, and our horses should be able to touch each other. So when the name of it is Our Freedom Circle, it's all of our freedom. It's for all of us. And I'm so excited about that. So our evil plan every time is that we'll start with a little equestrian Tai Chi because I want to get everyone into their body. And then we will talk about any celebrations you guys have or any challenges you've had. And then I'll have what I'm calling a freedom exploration, which will be something the horses have taught me that has been so much more profound than I expected it to be. And then we'll be done. So let's start with some equestrian Tai Chi. You may stay seated. If you're in your car or driving, don't do this. Or you can stand up, whichever one you want. I'm going to stand up just so you can see what it looks like so you can practice it later. My idea is that as we practice these, you guys will get more and more comfortable with the energy in your body. And this will just be something that you can use to access just another layer of communication with your horses. Today, we're going to do something called gathering the moon from the sea. So I kind of picture that you can see the reflection of the moon in the ocean. So whenever you're doing equestrian Tai Chi, whether you're standing or sitting, you want to have an imaginary silken thread out of the top of your head. You want to have your tongue behind your teeth, like in the word let or lo. You want to have your shoulders down, your elbows down. You are not timing your breath with your hands. You have imaginary ping pongs or eggs underneath your armpits. For this one, you literally take your hands, you scoop up the ocean, and then you filter it down. I probably need to go farther back. So you scoop your hands, thumbs, and down. It just comes right up your center line. If you like to, you can close your eyes and see if you can feel anything. Let's do one more. And then you're just going to hold your hands right over your dantian, which is about 4 of your own fingers below your belly button. And that's called sealing your chi. They actually believe this is more important than gathering, like making the chi, because it holds it in your body for future use. Sorry, someone's calling me. We'll get rid of that. All right. Everyone feel together and calm. You can give me a thumbs up if you don't want to turn your volume on.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought it would be really fun to, because I really, really want us to trust each other and this to be an incredibly tight-knit group. I want us to each introduce ourselves. I want to hear our names, where we live, any horses you might have in your life, a couple words you want to share about them, and then what you are hoping to get out of this group. So I will go first. There's two Jills, so I'm Jill Roth. I live in Oregon with Alia lives here with me. Alia is my saddlebred. We have a Paradise Paddock. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a track system, so she lives on that. And words to describe her would be so curious, really enthusiastic, and eager. Okay, those are my words. Okay, so I'm gonna, because it's easiest, unless someone wants to go first, I could just call your names the way I see them on the screen so we don't miss anything, miss anybody. That's not good. Okay, so Kelsey, I see you next. So Kelsey, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kelsey. I'm Jill's daughter. I live in Wilsonville, and some horses in my life are Alia, and there's some wonderful horses at the rescue in Wilsonville, and the wonderful ones at the rescue, and there's just so many wonderful horses in my life. And I think Alia is definitely curious and open, and it's interesting to watch her grow because she was kind of had like a toddler energy, and now she definitely has like an adult energy, and it's very much like I love the way she guides everything. It's really cool. I think things I would like to take away from the group are joy and peace, and I'd love to just learn from everyone of insights of their horses and themselves and stuff. So, Freedom Circle.
Love it. Danielle, I can see you next. Can you go next?
Hi, I'm Danielle. I live in Beaverton, Oregon, actually not too far from jail.
Yes.
And I have two horses. And I've got Jesse, who's probably a quarter horse, best guess. And I've had him since 2017. And words to describe him are curious, grumpy, and very sure of himself in some ways. And I also have Major. I only had her about a year, and she is a retired racehorse. She's 21, and she is dignified, she's assertive, and she's very calm and kind. And my son Ari will probably be joining us when he's not in school. He's almost 16, and Major's pretty much decided that he's her person.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that so much. That's so great.
Yeah.
That's so great.
And also am joined here as well by Rocky.
Hey, Rocky. It's good to see you.
There's Rocky.
How are you, sweetheart?
Oh, he is so cute.
Yeah, he's one of the happiest dogs I've ever met.
What
Yeah.
what's his combination?
We did a DNA test because he's a shelter mix, and he's Great Pyrenees, Boxer, Rottweiler, Cattle Dog, Shepherd, and some other stuff.
Yeah, I
Wow.
did it. Yeah, I do it. Yeah.
And Joe, Trigger died about a month ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he had generative myelopathy, and it finally got where he was not doing well.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you were amazing. She was actually putting him up into a wheelchair so that he could still wheel around the 10 acres. So she was doing everything she could for him. So
Yeah, his owners couldn't do it because he was a 120-pound dog, and it was just too much for them in their 70s and 80s to lift.
yeah, he was a big boy. He was a
Yeah,
big-
yeah.
Well,
Miss
Miss,
Trigger.
you're amazing. Very good. Oh, and I'm glad you brought up Ari. So we have a couple people who won't be able to be with us until the summer because of school. So our group will grow then. And then we had a couple people who couldn't be here just because, that's going to happen. We're going to have conflicts. So lovely. Thank you so much. Gail, you're up.
Oh, God. Okay. I was trying to get a hold of Victoria while you were giving us directions on what we were supposed to do. So I thought, oh, crap, don't call on me right away because I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. First, say your name.
Oh, okay. I can do that. It's Gail Rich Boxman.
Uh-huh. And where do you live?
I live out in the hinterlands of Oregon in the coastal range, the big city of Birkenfeld, which is no Nobody knows where it is unless I occasionally go, do you know where Vernonia is? And they go, yeah. I said, well, that's not where we live. We live a half hour past that. Actually on the way to Astoria, straight shot, Hood to Coast runs by us every year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a little known fact.
A little known fact.
It's
I did not know
my
that.
real estate knowledge that I could share with you that I've
There you
known.
go. All right. Any
Um,
horses you have in your life and a few words about them.
Yes, and we have now 30 rescues at On Golden Rescue, I think. Sometimes, the count changes constantly. And we have standard horses, we have mules, we have mini horses, we have mini donkeys, we have goats, feral kitties, 4 golden retrievers, 6 chickens, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Wow.
Sounds like the 12 days of Christmas. Everyone is completely different. We are one of those rare rescues that can take bonded pairs, and we took 3 yesterday. A mare named Wani and 2 mules. One is her son, Abraham, and the other one is Jethro, which we just lost our precious mini donk Jethro. So I feel like he brought Jethro to us. So we just got him yesterday and they're doing great.
How do you spell Wani?
Wahnee.
Oh, cool.
And I tried to look up chat was a little all over the place with no, but it was a very positive thing. And I loved that name. They were calling her Big Mama, but she's not Big Mama anymore. She's 30 something. So she went from rotund to skinny, but
Wow.
really wonderful, no drama, thank God, because one of them had never been trailered before and he's in his 20s.
So I think you told us that Abraham is Wani's daughter. Is
Son.
Jethro also related or no?
Wani and Abraham are mom and son.
Right. And is Jethro related or no?
No, he's just the third wheel, but they're very, I love mules and they're beautiful. They are absolutely beautiful. And I think they have found their heaven. They got out of the trailer and were just mellow as can be, rolled around. It was so great. I got lots of fun video.
That's so
Enough
awesome.
about me. Okay.
What's your rescue?
That's
What's
enough
the
about
rescue
that.
called again?
You need one.
But
sorry.
it's On Golden Rescue.
It's in Birkenfield. And then
Birkenfeld.
you need to say what you're hoping to get out of the this group.
I'm open to whatever you all offer each of us. It's always going to be a treasure, I think. So there you are.
Okay, so just to confirm, circles everybody, so it will be what everybody's offering.
Yes, exactly. Because we're all connected.
Exactly. Yes, you got it, Liz. You got it.
And you
All
can
right.
take a circle and make it into a little heart, and then you can make it back into a circle and not
Oh, I
break.
love that so much.
We can have circles of hearts and hearts within the circles.
Yeah, there
All
you go.
those things. I'm going to step so I can turn my air off so it doesn't make that horrible sound again. Liz, you're up.
My name is Elizabeth Lee Pasco, and I have a property that the legal name is Rosendom Farm. I don't. I bought the farm to support my my 2 horses at the time, to get them out of the stressful situation of being in boarding situations. And I unfortunately lost one. So now I still have the 1 horse. Her name is Rose. She's a princess and she just had her breakfast. And I'm looking outside. I can see her in the arena because I keep my arena open because I'm not riding anymore. But she can, like Jill, I have a paradise paddock and she has access to that, but she can't access it until after her acupuncture appointment today. Yeah, she's kind of a free roaming, doing her thing. We don't ride. I had a head injury and it's just not safe at my age to try and have another head injury. But she also had an injury in 2018. She slipped and you know how it is in Oregon. Sorry, I'm in North Plains, Oregon. Sorry, I forgot to say that. She slipped and fell and kind of jacked up her hip, which has jacked up her entire diagonal. And so it's we're constantly doing body work together. I mean, and I was telling Jill this yesterday that those 5 minutes definitely are never 5 minutes. It turns into 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever she needs. And then she'll tell me whether or not she needs me to work on her body or not. And we've become really good at communicating with what areas that she needs to be worked on. I don't know if I would describe her. I think she's happy. How would I describe Rose? Rose wants to be right here. This is where she feels the safest. She's an in your heart horse. So like if you meet her and after you've done your greet, she's going to be right here. Her head is going to be all right, because that's where she finds her comfort. I don't think she's the most secure horse, and I think that's the reason. However, we did have some meals that we hosted for about 8 months after we lost our Dama. And I think that helped her, overcome that loss. And now that the meals are gone, it's just she and and I think she's okay with that. I think she's comfortable enough in her skin now that she's okay being on her own. I mean, she's not really on her own. She's got a barn cat named Oliver Martin, and she's got a dog named Enrique, and they all kind of communicate with each other and have their own relationships. What I'm hoping to gain out of this is just continue on the journey that I've been on, that my animals, that just life circumstance forced me on. And so when I was forced to the ground, I was already working with them in a communicative way. And I'd worked with Jill when she and I were boarding our horses, and that's how we met at the same stable. And but that journey became more intense when I was forced on the ground. And I really feel like that accident, though it's changed the entire course of my life, set me on a more rewarding journey with my horses, and with this horse specifically, because she's now that she's the only one, she gets my attention now. And I think she likes that, and so, yeah, I'm just hoping to learn what everybody else is doing and hope that we can all just learn something and take it out into the field and communicate with our kids,
Beautiful. Love
Yeah.
it. Love it. Jill, you're up.
My name is Jill Brady, and I have 2 horses. One is a BLM Mustang that was injured at the facility, and I'm dealing with his injuries over the years. And the other one is my riding horse, which he's 17 years old, but we have developed a relationship that I do not like, and I want to improve it.
Cool.
He used to be a fantastic riding horse, and we have just changed. There's animosity there, and I want to change that dialogue. And I've been slowly working towards it, but I need help with other people that may have experienced this, because I love him intensely. I also have 2 miniature donkeys, and I have a standard donkey.
Wow.
Yay!
I love that.
Oh, and I'm from Arizona. I live in Paulden, Arizona, rural Arizona.
What part?
Paulden. I live in north of Prescott, Arizona.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And do they all live with you, Jill?
Yeah, they do.
So you have tons of time. You're never busy.
Yeah. Yes.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, can you give us a couple words to describe your horses? Like that?
The BLM is kind, appreciative, loving, in your chest, licks me all the time.
Oh,
He's just one of those amazing personalities. I can't ride him because of his injury, but the other one is neurotic, kind, but it just has a point where he gets overwhelmed and he loses his mind, basically.
Oh.
And that is, I'm really concerned, because he was not like that 10 years ago. So I'm trying to develop a better relationship. We just don't have a good one right now. That's it.
I love that. You're going to love the freedom exploration that we're doing this month. I think you two will love it. It's so profound. and so simple. So I think you will love this. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Julie, you're up.
Well, I live in Western North Carolina, and
Oh gosh.
yeah, in the opposite end of the continent from you, um, in the mountains near the Blue Ridge Mountains. So
Oh, beautiful.
I have a farm. We have two horses that are with me right now, and one of them has been with me for about 16 years. His name is Nate, and the other horse is a BLM Mustang also. Her name is Cloud, and I've had her here with me I've had her with me for about 7 years. And we moved here 5 years ago. So that was a change for them too, from South Carolina to North Carolina. But let's see. A word that describes Nate is he's extremely curious, bossy, engaged, and very loving.
Aw.
His demeanor, I've had him for such a long time now, but he used to be named Diablo, and he had this kind of really bad horse type of reputation. And I found the relationship, I've learned so much from that relationship. But the Mustang is Cloud, and words that describe her are very sensitive, kind, super alert. I mean, she is like the sentinel of the farm. She knows if there's anything that has changed in the environment. She is always the first one that knows. And I'm hoping that this group will be just a community that I can connect with, that is really focused on being with horses and engaging with our horses in ways that honor the horse, that honor that consciousness that they bring, and interact with our human consciousness. And I work a lot with people on the ground with horses and learning, equine assisted learning. And so the horses, I've seen so many things that can't be explained. And I know that horses just, we need a new way of working with these wonderful beings. And I know that Jill holds that torch very highly. And so I'm looking forward to the group.
Hey, Jill,
Excellent.
Yeah.
I
Jill,
totally.
I had a question for you. How is it, since everybody's sort of all over the country, how do they know you? How did they connect with you to create this group?
Well, one I gave birth to.
Oh, yeah, well, that part I figured out already. Yeah, I got that down.
Danielle and Liz have both been my students. Julie and so I've been telling you about this other group that I'm in, that I've been in for 7 years, it just means so much to me, because like if, one of our parents is dying or whatever, we're just texting each other all the time, send prayers, send love. Or if, we have a really big victory, we're like, oh my God, that's amazing. Great job. So Julie's in that group with me.
Got it.
So, and then Jill, this is the first time I've met Jill.
Jill 2, how'd you find Jill 1?
I just saw a notification and decided to pursue it. And I cannot remember where I saw it. I think it was on a chat group with Dr. Karen.
Yeah, it was probably with Dr. Karen then. So Dr. Karen.
Yeah, Dr. Karen. Yeah, I've known her for years. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would be the connection. And Julie, the group that I'm in with Julie, is also through Dr. Karen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
Julie,
then some of the people that aren't here today, I think all of them were students of mine. And one was just a hiking buddy. So
Where in Western North Carolina do you live, Julie?
About an hour north of Asheville.
Oh, yeah. Pretty.
Oh, really?
So
What town? I'm from North Carolina. I used to live in Asheville.
Oh, it's Burnsville.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
So kind of towards Mount Mitchell, but south of Burnsville. Yeah.
I've got a good friend who lives near you.
Really? Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
She lives in Weaverville, or near Weaverville.
Yes. Yeah, I'm familiar. Yeah. Wonderful. Wow. How about that?
I'd like to ask Julie, where you said something about South Carolina.
Yes, I was in Columbia, near Columbia, South Carolina for a long time.
I grew up in Charleston.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm heading that direction on the 27th. So I'm
Wow.
going to see my mother. She's still in Mount Pleasant. So I'm going to go see
Okay, I'm familiar with that. Yeah, I grew up near Georgetown, South
her.
Carolina.
Okay, yeah. So just down the street.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, got it.
Very different where
You
you
know,
are.
I do have my Polly's Island hammock out here.
Do you?
Oh yeah, that's a double.
That's great.
Oh yeah, you can't leave the South without your Polly's Island hammock and a cast iron skillet, right?
That-
That's just not right.
Liz, where do you live?
I live in North Plains. Actually,
Oh,
Gail,
that's right.
you and I met.
We did.
We did. You and your husband were loading up over at Coastal. This
Yes.
is a year and a half ago, and then I had some hay that your husband was coming to get that
Yes.
Dama and Rose had decided they didn't
Oh,
want.
you're wonderful. I
And
love
the donkeys liked it, and so he was coming and filling up. And then I found out recently, I know that he was only able to come and make small trips, but turns out that Rose decided she liked it again. So I'm just letting her finish that up, what you guys didn't take. And so yeah, I have met you, and I don't know if you remember, but I had
We do.
when I saw your
Yes.
truck and it said on Golden Rescue, and I was
Yeah.
like, I gotta talk to these people. I mean, literally, so it was in the parking lot loading
Yes,
up.
I remember all of that. Yes, I just
Yeah.
remember your face.
Yeah, well, and I think my hair was silver at the time, but I've gone back to doing the highlights and the
Gotcha.
lowlights. But and I don't know if we'd talked about Jill at that point or not. But then when Jill told me that she was working with y'all, I was like, oh, I know them. I met them, and so yes, I have been in contact mostly with your husband. But yeah,
I remember that.
There,
So
yeah.
it's kind of 6 degrees of separation.
I know it really is, and I think the horse world in general is really small. And I think that if any of us went anywhere else, we'd know somebody who knew somebody or.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon.
Right, exactly. And when I met Jill, and we were at Corral Creek together when she was boarding her willow, and I had both Dama and Rose there, and she saw my orange stick,
Oh,
and then she heard me say something about the universe, and
well,
then
there
she
you
just
go.
we gravitated to each other because she knew that the horse personship I was practicing or trying to practice and trying to learn, and so that's how we kind of connected, was just through the orange stick,
Yep.
which is so bizarro, but she recognized it and was like, oh, that's one of my people, so that's how that worked.
It's so funny. I mean, you're right though. And here we are.
And here
Yeah.
we are. all these
I don't
years
even know how
later.
many years later. Is it?
2018 when we moved there.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Wow.
I've actually met Gail's husband also at a feed
Everybody
store.
gets around. You've seen him, probably more of him than I have.
I
because-
saw the truck and I asked him about the rescue one time. I can't remember what we were doing, but I believe it was at a feed store.
That's
Of course,
awesome.
he's there
I
a
love that
lot.
so much.
And
Yes.
Julie, if you ever get out here, and Jill, the other Jill, if y'all are ever around, we'll just take you over to the feed store. See who just all meet at the feed store.
All the best stuff happens for sure. That's awesome.
Right.
I love that. Okay, so I thought it would be fun for people to either bring up a challenge they would like to discuss, if that's something you want to do, or a victory you want to discuss, or I have one to get us started if you don't have one.
Jill, the other Jill, had mentioned she's struggling with, Jill too, she was struggling with one of her horses, that the relationship had changed. And so what I think I'd like to ask of her is if she could tell us more about when that kind of was anything leading up to that you noticed that relationship changed? Was there something that happened when y'all were riding together? I mean, what in your mind? I mean, because it sounds to me like he's upset about something, and so what happened leading up to that? Maybe does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
100%. Jill, are you comfortable sharing?
There were two things that occurred. One was that I had put down a gelding that he had been with for years.
Oh.
And it was not, they did not say goodbye. I had to take him to a veterinarian and have him put down. So he loaded up on the trailer and never came home. The other thing was that he's a very sensitive horse, and I found when I rode him that there were things that bothered him, but I ignored it because he would show the fear, but yet it never progressed to a point where you were concerned riding him. He would internalize it. So I never identified it like I should have and worked through it. I just ignored it. And it seemed that after this horse never came back, that exacerbated the things to the point where I had the first part of the ride. I live in rural Arizona, so I have plenty of places I can ride off my property. And he will be fine for the first half hour. And then all of a sudden, it's just like something in him changes and he's a completely different horse. As I said, he gets neurotic and it's almost like a Buddy Sour reaction. So I have had a trainer try to help me with it. And I just find that I'm missing something in this relationship. We're not connecting. And there was a point where I would go out into the paddock with him and he would turn and go the other way. So that was a big indicator that there's something wrong. So I have completely changed the way I'm addressing him. And that's what I need is more of an ability to try to reconnect like we were.
Right.
Because he has lost faith in me.
Right. Or even better, right? I mean, you may end up even being better because sometimes when you go through these challenges, it makes you that much closer, right? You develop a deeper trust.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Because he is an amazingly sensitive horse and used to love going out. And now he is just a complete nervous wreck when he gets into the pot. Okay, I'm by myself now. I'm scared.
How far out is that, Jill? Is it immediate or is there a certain like?
It's usually after about a 30-minute ride. And this is rural Arizona, so it's not pine trees, but it's juniper trees and wide open country. And it's just all of a sudden it's like he's fine, and then he just turns into a completely different horse, and I'm by myself, and he starts neighing and throwing a fit, and it's usually about 30 minutes into the ride. Okay. So what we have been doing is my husband doesn't ride and my Mustang really isn't rideable anymore. So we take them out together. He hikes with him and I ride. Right. And then, so we've been doing hike rides and it seems to be helping, but I still need to move it forward, right, to where I have a relationship like I used to with him.
Right. Right. Cool. Well, that's sounds like that's going to be fun for you. No, I'm absolutely serious because it sounds to me like there's just so much potential, and it may be as simple as as you learn him, as you feel him, ending the ride 5 to 10 minutes before he wants to, right? Before he's panicky, being like, okay, you know what? It's been 20 minutes. We've done amazing. Let's turn back. Right. So it'll be, again, it'll be really fun, I think, for you to try the Freedom Exploration this month, because it has been absolutely huge for Alia and I to start understanding each other on a deeper level and on a more trusting level that I didn't really know I wasn't there. Like, for example, I had 2 horses before, Willow and Fiesta, and they passed last year. And I thought I trusted Willow completely. But after doing the things that I've been doing with Alia, I realized that's actually not true. So when I wanted to adopt Alia, I asked her if that's what she wanted. And I got this overwhelming feeling of yes, that's exactly what I want. I said, okay, well, then I only have one requirement. And, you never need to be ridden if you don't ever want to be ridden, because she's 21 now and she didn't even been haltered before I got her. But we have to learn how to trust each other. And when I said those words, what I actually meant was you as the horse need to learn how to trust me. Yes. Turns out that was not the biggest challenge, right? The biggest challenge and has been is me learning to trust her. And so it's an incredible journey because it's all about us hitting all those wounds, all those blocks, all those things that we thought weren't really a problem that really are going to be if if we want to be as open to our horse as we expect them to be to us. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jill, have you considered, I mean, this is, I don't know how this is supposed to work, but have you considered just not riding him and just hanging out?
We do that all the time now. And as I said, I've reached a point where I hike and ride.
Okay.
So every time we go out, sometimes it's no riding. I
Okay.
still maybe it's just a bareback pad. I ride him bareback. I can
Okay.
ride him with a bareback
Wow.
pad, but
Okay.
generally if I'm out in the open, here I can ride with a bareback pad, but out there I ride with the saddle just in case. We do encounter coyotes, antelope, so I'm not confident. But yes, we do. And he's amazing on the ground. He is just a dream to be around when we're on the ground. It is riding. And so that was my question is there a time for me to where I'm going to have to I love to ride him because of his gait, and he's just this amazing horse to ride. The power that he has and the smoothness, and he used to love it. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is it just the point where he just doesn't want to do it anymore? And I'm being the selfish one, or is it a point where I've done something that he doesn't trust me anymore? And I have to gain that trust back before we can ride again. So that's where I'm at.
When you go out, do you ask him if he wants to go? Does he say if he does or doesn't?
He usually, because every time I go out, I don't ride him until I get to that property. It's open land. And in Arizona, we have what we call state trust. So I walk him to the state trust land, and then I continue to hike for a while. And then I have a mounting spot. And at that point, I have lined him up to a rock. And that's when he tells me, yes, I'm ready. I'll let you on, or let's hike for a while.
Mhm.
It is that's how I ask him. And that may not be the right way to do it, but that's how I've always done it with my horses. If it looks like he's agitated and I don't really feel it today, then we just hike for a while, and then I'll try again.
Does he get neurotic if you're just hiking, or does he only do it when you're riding?
Not as much. It's generally when I'm riding him. Now, there was an instance years ago when I was riding him on that area, and I had told my husband, it had just clicked one day when we saw the antelope again, that we had an entire herd of antelope run in front of us.
Mm.
I didn't think anything of it at the time because when in his younger years, he would stop, startle, and stand. There was no movement, no nothing. So I didn't realize it as internalizing fear.
Right.
But that was when I started noticing more and more that when I went into that area, he would start acting up a little bit more as far as snorty, as far as antsy, but I did not connect it. But over the years of having him and then seeing where I'm at now with him, I'm thinking that it was things like that he internalized, and I did not recognize it.
Well, I think that brings up a great point is, we could spend, all day just going, oh, I bet it was this. Oh, I bet it was that. I bet it was this. Okay. And I think a lot of us have.
Yeah.
And I think the key is I think it's beautiful that you're giving him a choice, right? Because if you don't give him a choice, then it's not even fair. And, riding can be off the table for as long as he wants, right? It's like, Alia, I hope someday we ride, but that's entirely up to how we feel when we get to the point that we're ready for that, right? So I think what I think it would be fun for you to spend this month doing the sacred scratches and seeing what you guys open up to each other, because he may be giving you a lot of signals when you're writing that you can't hear or haven't heard or didn't hear, that you will learn how to hear as you guys, explore together.
Okay.
This sounds, I don't, Jill, whoever wants to answer this question, but just going back to the fact that you had to have the one horse put down at the veterinary clinic and that he never got to say goodbye. I almost wonder, is he fearing that he's not going to go back? Is
I
that
don't know. Yeah.
I got lucky. Well, it was unlucky, but when Dama died, she died on the way to the hospital trying to get her into surgery. And I asked the people who took her down, because unfortunately I don't have a trailer, which is going to change eventually. But that said, I said, I need you to go back to the farm and make sure that Rose knows that she's not coming home. And the dog needs to know she's not coming home. And the barn cat needs to know she's not coming home. And I had that opportunity. So I don't, again, I'm not in your situation, but I almost wonder if he has some other concerns about his own well-being not coming back. It's out there.
Yeah. It is possible.
And if you ever decide you want to go down the route of an animal communicator, I do have an animal communicator that works with animals that have already passed. So there's that.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, that might be really, yeah.
Yeah, because I talk with Willow and Fiesta and Alia together all the time through this woman. So all right, so you guys want to
Doesn't Julie want to talk? She's got
yeah,
her hand.
go ahead, Julie. Oh, your little hands up. I'm sorry.
No problem at all. No problem. I was just also being very curious now about, as it sounds like Jill is, about the change that can be attributed to, it sounds like, different things, and that it only happens with writing. Just exploring that possibility of it being something physical, that kicks in, potential, maybe hoof related or back related, muscle, something. Just and again, I feel like you've probably thought that too, but just putting that into the ether of communication here in this circle, because that's always something I think that it could be, because we immediately go to relationship, which is wonderful, but the idea that it could be something that's in his physicalness that kicks in after the writing experience.
100%. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
And Jill, number 2, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned a couple of things. He's very sensitive. So that's a key thing, I think, with him. And didn't you say that he did a little better when he had another horse with him? And
He does much better. Yes.
I'm wondering if that's what part of it is. I'm throwing it out there.
Yes. Now I had a trainer that came and brought her horse and we rode together, and he has, he's very in your tail type horse. He wants his nose right in the back end of a horse.
Yeah.
And so he is very, very, I don't want to call it insecure. I don't know if horses have that, but there is something about him being alone.
Yes.
Which is, makes a whole lot of sense for prey animal, right? I mean, one of the hardest things we ask for them is like, let's just go on the trail. That's a big deal. It is a really big deal for a horse to go out by themselves, which makes me think of combining 2 thoughts somebody else said was, it may be different now. It certainly could be different from the relationship. It may also be different because maybe he's older and something has changed physically. His hearing's different. His sight is different. He may be, because it is I don't know very many horses at all that can go out and trail ride by themselves. It's very rare.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, it's very rare.
Takes a village.
He used to be amazing. I could take him out and ride for an hour, hour and a half, and we had fun together. And I could tell with him that he loved it.
Yeah.
but it's different. You're right. It is different now. But I'm different too. I'm over 60, so I am a lot different now.
Yeah, and that also, I mean, because you know how incredibly sensitive they are, they feel it. So
Yeah.
if or when we're like, well, I don't know, they're like, oh, really? Because if my predator is worried, it's bad, right? Yeah, no, 100%.
Have you ever worked with your Mustang just off lead? Will he walk? Have you gotten where he'll walk with you so he could just kind of follow along and
I just
join
don't trust it
join the party?
because we're on state trust land and national forest, and there's been experiences. My husband was attacked by dogs out there once, and we have rattlesnakes, and I don't feel comfortable off lead. And this Mustang has actually gone through a fence before.
Oh,
When I first adopted him, he didn't see it, so he got excited and just ran through the fence. So we're in Arizona, so we still have barbed wire,
Right.
and
Gotcha.
I just don't feel that it's safe. We do have cattle that graze. It's an open range in some areas, so that is the one thing he's terrified of is cattle. Not the Mustang, but the other one. But we do take him out. But I just don't feel. I've thought about it, but I just don't feel comfortable letting the Mustang loose because if something happened, I'm afraid he might go through a fence.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. I let one of mine follow along when I'm by myself and I want to take them for a walk. I don't ride them, but suburban Oregon is very different from rural Arizona.
You're in Beaverton, right?
Yeah, I'm in Beaverton.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in suburbia. There's like one little field that my neighbor owns, and that's where my horses live. It's like a 10-acre field,
Oh, well, that's good.
but we're surrounded by suburbia.
Okay.
So we go anywhere. We walk through the manicured. They sample all the manicured lawns.
like
Hope they're not
Halloween
poisoning those manicured
decorations.
lawns.
Yeah, some people get pissed off. Other people think it's cool.
Don't they call it the neighborhood herd?
Yes, whenever I go out, sometimes the pictures show up on Facebook because people get so excited that there's horses walking through their neighborhood.
Oh,
Absolutely, that's super fun.
oh, those
People come
fun.
running out with their cameras. It's hilarious.
I remember when I was little growing up near the beach, we were always at the beach because we only lived a mile from there. And back then they allowed people to ride their horses on Sullivan's Island. And I was just thrilled. Even if the horses weren't present, I could see their hoof prints in the sand. And I go, oh, mama, horses, and they are so special.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you ever get to England, if anybody ever gets to the UK, there's a place called the New Forest. And in the New Forest, the equines, and I say equines, donkeys, whatever, they all have the right of way.
Oh, cool.
If you hit them, they run free, they roam free. And if you hit one or injure one, you get seriously in trouble. And it's just amazing just to go bike riding through there or walking, and then you'll see like the especially donkeys, they're so funny. And then you find them and they're having like the town meeting right there on the corner where you're trying to go and you're trying to turn or something, and they're just there and they're not going anywhere, right? It's like, well, you'll have to work around us. And it's just one of the best, funnest places is to go through the New Forest.
Got it written down on my bucket.
Yeah, it's a definite must.
Liz, do they have signs like we have for elk and deer and all that? Do
I'm trying to remember. I feel certain that they do. I haven't been there since 2017. They do, and it's a little inward. So it's on the south coast, but it's inward from, I think it's between Brighton and, I'm just trying to remember, but just look it up, the New Forest, and I believe they do have signs. And my husband and I rented bikes and we rode through, and then we would stop at the nearest pub because we were hot and sweaty, and then have, a pint, um, and
Sounds
then
like
go
a good
back.
treat.
There's you could take these trails through where Sioux land. It was sort of like in Arizona where you have that open, or even in Colorado, which I lived in, where they had that open grazing and things like that. And everybody just kind of, but yeah, they have the right of way, and that town protects those equines.
Love it.
Yeah, it's amazing just to see them in sort of like that suburban setting, like just talking about Beaverton or whatever, except there's just not one or two horses. There's a lot of equines, and they do their thing.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a great experience. It is. When I have time to go through some pictures, maybe I'll send some to Jill and she can choose to share them or not.
It's a
But
great,
you can see that the little town meetings going on with the equines, and
that's a great segue. I would like to offer you guys the idea that we could have a group thread like on our phones, that we could, just like send each other photos, ask each other questions, those kind of things. So email me or text me whether or not you want to be on that list or not.
that would
And
be
then,
great. Oh, sorry.
because I think that'd be really fun. That's how it is with our other group that Julie and I are both in. We text each other all the time if we need each other. And that's how I would like to envision this, that, Jill had a great ride. And so she writes us and says, "Oh my God, today was amazing," or whatever. So please text me or email me or put it in the chats now, whether or not you would like to be on that list, because I don't want to make you.
The chat.
Oh, you have a chat somewhere?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, team chat. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got 7 minutes, so let me tell you about this month's Freedom Exploration. This is something, each month it's gonna be something the horses have taught me. This one is I call it Sacred Scratches.
Yeah.
And it's super simple, but it's like, I cannot believe how profound it has been. So the whole idea was that Ollie and I were pretty nervous around each other. She's a big girl and she moves so fast. And so I was like, what can we do? So just over the fence, I just started scratching her, and she only really wanted to be touched on her butt. That was her safest thing. That's where she wanted to be touched. So that's what we started with. And we literally had a patch, I'm not kidding, that was this big, and we rubbed that exact same spot for about a month. But since then, and this has been about a year that we've been doing Sacred Scratches, since then, we have, opened up her fascia. She's reporting that she's moving better than she ever has in her entire life. Our communication, our trust has quadrupled. So it's super, super simple. You're literally just scratching them wherever they want to be scratched. You're not absolutely positively not working on desensitizing. You're not trying to touch a certain spot. You're not taking that chance to scratch off mud. None of that. It's literally us learning how to feel in our body what they're trying to tell us. So what you're going to be doing is offering this opportunity. It can be with a fence, it can be without a fence, it does not matter. And I want you to, when you're scratching them or rubbing them, whatever they prefer, you're feeling into your pelvic bowl, you're feeling into your heart space for anything. Could be a message, could be a comfort, could be a discomfort. You also may notice, and these are just things that have happened over the year, colors. So it's really interesting if you do it kind of in twilight or a little bit of a dark barn, you may see colors where they want you to rub. They may see colors that appear when you rub. Like, for example, if it's a really good spot, sometimes everything will just turn pink. I have not done much with sound with this, but you absolutely could check with sound and see if a sound is something that works for you. Oftentimes, not with Aya so much, but with other horses, they'll make the spot brighter. Like, I'm like, where would you like to be scratched? They'll light it up. It'll be brighter. So you might see that. The biggest thing is you don't want to be trying to do something. You're not trying to soften the skin. You're not trying to nothing like that. It's all about how can you be connected, and you're looking for her or him. Are they enjoying it? Is it a spot they want? Would they like you to scratch harder? Sometimes she'll start chewing on the tennis ball so that I'll actually dig in deep. Do you feel any dis-ease? This was huge when we first started, is when she would walk away, I noticed feeling really rejected, right? Like, it was very hard for me. I'm like, oh gosh, she doesn't like me. Okay, Probably not the case. Probably the fact that she didn't like that. So it was a great way for me to start working through those inner voices. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve, of course she wouldn't want to be with you. All that stupid shit that comes up will come out if you just pay attention to what's happening to your body. A couple of weeks ago, I was petting her and then I got this striking pain in my lower back. I rubbed on that exact spot on her. It was exactly what she needed. She just stretched down like she had never stretched before. So it's really just a way for you to start feeling into each other, noticing what your body will tell you, noticing what your mind is telling you is really huge. A couple things I want to make sure I told you about this. Oh, really don't have any preconceived ideas. So like I said, there was that one spot on her butt that is all we rubbed for a month. Well, then we started rubbing other spots, right? So all of a sudden I'm like, well, she'll probably want me to start on that spot. And she didn't. So it was great for me because I started being, let me be even more attentive. Let me take a moment, look for any bright spots on your body, look for any color on your body, feel for anything on my body before I even start. And then when we first started, she would get a little defensive and it was really interesting. Dr. Karen taught me this, is I had touched her on a spot and she bit me, but it wasn't because that spot was sore. It was because of what I was thinking at the time I touched that spot. So I don't even remember what it was now, but it was a negative mismatch for where I was touching her. And that made, how we all store memories in our bodies, right? Whether there's trauma or drama, we store it in different types of bodies. Well, I happened to touch the exact spot where she had stored drama and trauma, and I was thinking a negative thought. She bit me. So it's just an incredible way to really start getting in tune with each other and understanding each other on a level that I didn't actually know was possible.
Cool.
Question?
Oh, I just thought I would throw this out yesterday because these are all animals that I had only met once.
Mm-hmm.
Jethro, while we were in their small pasture before we trailered them, he was eating and I am a very touchy person and I've done massage work and a lot of me comes through my hands. And I started just scratching along his neck, like the horses will do when they're just nibbling on each other. And he stopped and he lifted his head and he just absorbed it. Like, I am loving this. And then I felt the need to take my other hand and put it on his chest. His heart space is what I called it. And I was just doing both. And he just seemed like he was in heaven. And so was I. It was so wonderful.
And I love that because it was so organic.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you probably wouldn't have been like, well, I bet if I touch his heart space and then do here.
Yeah. No, I just was listening and being present. And it was such a great gift.
That is a great gift. And if sounds to me like he was very open to that. Alia was quite, I don't want to use the word defensive, aware of me touching her body. And, originally she would move her head back at me and then she realized that I would stop completely. So now we've got this language that if she doesn't want, if that's not it, if it's not the spot, she'll just stand really still and wait. Right. And then when it's the spot, she's got the lip of joy, she's doing the whole thing. So getting that level of communication has been huge. But you're right, Gail, to honor it that way and to listen is everything.
And also I kind of wonder, like Jethro, maybe he had never even had anybody do that before. And so his response was, because I've tried to scratch Rose when she's eating and she's like, I'm eating.
Yeah. And
that's the number one, but to hear that Jethro was like, ooh.
Yeah. And you know what we discovered this morning? He has a heart on his right back flank.
Oh,
I know.
Cute.
So excited.
That's so cute. And I know we're actually over time, but I just wanted to say one more thing. Remember, don't go into it with a goal. Don't go into there like, I'm going to massage this spot or I'm going to have no goals whatsoever. And notice if you take something as rejection, right? If they say no, it's just no. It's not a rejection. Don't attach a story to it. Just allow it to be the no that it is.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. I will let everyone go. Recap, text me and let me know yes or no whether or not you want to be on the group thread, because I love the idea of having this group together. If you have positive or negative things happen with the sacred scratches, by all means send that on the text. And then if you have any questions, send out.
Thank you, Jill.
All right, thank you guys. I'm
Thanks,
so
ladies. It's nice to meet you
Thank
all.
you.
It was
I had a really quick question for Gail.
Oh, yeah.
Do you take visitors at your rescue?
I was just honestly, I knew that's where you were going. Yes, of course. Of course. And remind me of your name again since you're
I'm
on.
Danielle, and yeah, me and my son would love to come out and meet all your critters.
Oh, we would love that. But don't do it until after April 30th because I'm gone to Florida.
and she wants to see you.
Okay.
We're all heading to the East Coast.
Yippee. All right, Danielle. Good. Oh, Danielle, what's your last name?
DeRocher.
Oh gosh. Okay. Can you spell it for me, please?
It's going to take a minute. DES.
I can send you her contact information.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds
Just
good. Okay.
are you going to make the thread via text or
That's up to you
messenger?
guys. You guys want messenger, text, email? Where do you want to go?
I prefer text.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Text it is.
I'm good with that.
Just send me a text and let me know yes or no, or email, whichever is easier, and then we'll make it happen.
Okay. All right.
All right. Oh, and
All right.
maybe if we get the text going, can everybody send a picture of their horses so we can
I
all
was
see them?
thinking that too. I
Absolutely.
really
That was
want
gonna
to
be
see
the
the
first thing I
horses.
Yay. Okay.
Mine will be quite long.
Guys,
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for setting us up, Jill.
see you next month. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Yeah, leave meeting.